And sitting on my right, Mr. E.G. Shorthouse. Hello, Mr. Shorthouse. May we hear your question, please?
Does the team think that people's names give any hint as to their appearance or character?
Does the team think people's names give any hint about their appearance or character? Cyril Fletcher.
Well, all I can say is, seeing how tall Mr. Shorthouse is, I think his name should be Longbottom.
Mr. Shorthouse, what was your name before you changed it?
But I think you should call yourself Shos.
To interrupt, how tall are you, Mr. Shorthouse?
About 6'3".
About 6'3" with a name like Shorthouse.
That's the tallest Shorthouse I've ever heard.
Professor, can you contribute?
I'm keeping out of this. Let them make all the obvious jokes, and then Mr. Shorthouse and I will say something subtle.
No, you see, a lot of names are derivative. A lot of names were given to people because they had certain characteristics hundreds of years ago. It's obviously been bred out of you. Obviously, centuries and generations ago, your mother and father were teeny-weeny. Or else they lived in a tiny short house. Now, that's possible.
Professor, what do you mean?
His grandparents were
You said
dogs.
centuries ago his mother and
Well,
father.
I mean,
How old do you think his mother and
I
father
mean his
are?
antecedents.
Oh,
And his antecedents, of course.
Your antecedents were probably tiny and lived in a tiny little house. Now, for example, there are a lot of peculiar names about. If you look at in the telephone directory, there's a name Smelly, for example, where many years ago, they've obviously cured themselves of it now. Many years ago, this name was given to people because they were smelly. Or Pongy.
Oh, I don't think that they could have.
It's true.
Oh, they couldn't possibly do that. It's got some other derivation entirely. Now, you see, I'd like to ask Mr. Shorthouse, who, incidentally, for the listeners' benefit, is a very handsome man. Have you ever had any embarrassment from your own name to your own crowd?
Oh, yes. I find sometimes if I sort of fix myself up with a woman sometimes, she says, "What's your name?" I say, "Ted." She says, "Ted what?" I say, "Ted Shorthouse." She thinks, right on. Was it right, Burke, for a start?
You can change your name by deed poll, you know.
Yes, Billy Shorthouse.
That's funny. My sister changed hers by marriage. Is that legal?
It is in your family. And very strange, too.
Now, why do you think...
Getting back to the question, I would like to give you the names, and this is perfectly true, of the ballerinas in our pantomime for the last 3 Christmases. 3 years ago, she was called Iolanthe Spearpoint. Last year, she was called Alida Glassbeak. And I've just signed a contract with a girl called Prunella Proop. And that is honestly true.
And all those names are derived from generations ago. There are people doing something like prooping, for example. No doubt this girl's grandparents used to proop.
That's right, and beak into glasses.
Has anybody ever thought what Trinder got his name from? Was there a Trinder? What does a Trinder
There's
do?
thousands of Trinders. Mine was only 2 once.
His father had a bicycle.
If you go...
No, everybody knows what to trind is.
Yes.
To trind. It comes from
Gone
tinder
with
box.
the trind.
I bet you they used to come from trinder boxes and things like that.
We know what the word Fletcher comes from.
Arrow maker.
Yes, the making of an arrow. Flesh. Flesh.
Flesh.
Flesh.
That's right.
Came
Making of
over with
flesh.
Edward the confectioner. Or do I mean William the Corn Curer?
Ted's name was never Ray. We know he stole that name from a golfer. His name was really Olden, wasn't it?
Well, it is now.
Named after the jokes.
Why were you so ashamed of your name, Ray?
Well, it wasn't phonetic, you see. It didn't look right on the bills. Charlie Olden.
It was autograph signing that worried him.
That's
Ted
right.
Ray was easy to sign.
But my old dad, he was a very wise man. He said to me, when you go on the stage, if you ever go on the stage, he said, pick a short name, and then they'll see it on the bills from the other side of the road. And honestly, you could see Ray standing out even above, bigger than the top of the bill.
I know it'd be ridiculous to be called Carruthers or something, wouldn't it? I mean...
But names are very important.
That is not true. I always think the personality is stronger than the name. Now, many years ago, I think there was a very glamorous actress who was looked upon as being very beautiful, and the name became very beautiful, and she had 2 very common names. Gladys, you wouldn't say that was an exotic name, and Cooper. Now, Gladys Cooper, if that belonged to the woman who came and did for you in the morning, you'd say Gladys Cooper, but she was such a... Now, wait a minute,
But
go on.
Tommy, you missed the whole point, you see, because this is phonetic. Gladys Cooper is beautiful. It
Say
has a
that again,
cadence.
Ted, the way you said it so lovely. Say it. Say it to me,
Gladys
Edward.
Shorthouse. No. Gladys Cooper. Jimmy Edwards.
There you are, that's a lovely name.
Beautiful. Cyril Fletcher.
Horrible. Doesn't have a ring about it, does it?
Well,
Mr.
my
Shorthurst-
mother's maiden name, and you won't believe me, is Ginger.
He's come from a long line of cats.
And his father was Ginger Pop. This is a waste of a good name, Mr. Shorthouse, because this will be an absolutely wonderful name for show business. Could you imagine it if your name was Ted Shorthouse?
Well, it is.
I know, but
Thank you very much, Mr. Shorthouse. Thank you very much indeed.